What if I told you that just one afternoon in your backyard could feed your family for the next 300 years? No fancy equipment. No farming experience. No massive land needed. Today I'm walking you through 10 food-producing trees that you plant just once and they keep giving for generations. And don't miss number 7, it completely changed the way I think about food and gardening, forever. Let me start with a quick story. My grandfather had an old tree in the corner of his yard. Nobody paid much attention to it. But every single summer, without fail, no watering, no spraying, no pruning, it would drop hundreds of pounds of fruit. My grandmother would dry them, store them, and cook with them all winter long. That one tree fed our entire extended family for decades. And that tree was planted before my grandfather was even born. That is the power of legacy planting. And today, I am giving you the beginner's blueprint to do it yourself. Plant number 1, mulberry. Let's start with the most underrated tree on this entire list. The mulberry. Here's why you almost never see these in supermarkets. They bruise so easily that they simply cannot survive shipping. That makes them completely useless for big agriculture and completely perfect for your backyard. A mature mulberry tree produces 50 to 80 pounds of berries every single summer. And the best part? It starts fruiting in just 3 to 5 years. That is the fastest return you will get from any food tree on this list. Mulberries thrive in poor soil, survive drought, and need almost zero maintenance. You plant it, step back, and let it do its thing. One more thing most people don't know. Dried mulberries contain nearly 10% protein. That is extraordinary for a fruit. Plant number 2, hazelnut. Most fruit trees give you sugar and water. The hazelnut gives you something far more valuable, calories and fat. 1 single pound of hazelnuts contains about 2,800 calories. A mature hazelnut bush producing just 30 pounds a year is delivering over 84,000 calories to your doorstep every single year without you doing much at all. They start fruiting in 3 to 4 years, and the nuts store for over a year without any refrigeration. Just keep them in their shells, in a cool, dry place. Now, the one rule for beginners. You need 2 different varieties planted together for cross-pollination. Don't skip this step or you won't get nuts. That's it. 2 bushes, a little patience, and you have a food safety net living in your yard. Plant number 3, fig tree. Figs appear in almost every ancient civilization as a symbol of abundance. And there is a very practical reason for that. Fig trees are nearly indestructible. Rocky soil? Fine. Intense heat? No problem. Little water? They simply don't care. A mature fig tree produces 100 to 200 pounds of fruit per year, and it often starts fruiting within just 2 to 3 years. Dried figs pack 1,200 calories per pound. Before grocery stores existed, people survived entire winters on dried figs. Here's the beginner tip I love about this tree. You can start a fig from a cutting. Literally just a branch from someone else's tree. Ask a neighbor. Put it in moist soil. It will root. This might be the cheapest food investment you ever make in your life. Plant number 4, apple tree. We all know apples. But most of us massively underestimate how powerful a productive apple tree really is. 1 mature apple tree gives you 200 to 400 pounds of fruit every single year. 4 trees? That is potentially 800 pounds of food for your family annually. And apples aren't just for fresh eating. Store them in a cool, dark place, they last 3 to 6 months. Dry them, they last over a year. Press them into cider, they last indefinitely. Before grocery stores existed, apples were the primary source of vitamin C through entire winters for millions of people. Beginner note: apple trees need a second variety nearby for pollination, and they take 6 to 10 years to reach full production. So yes, patience is required. But plant 2 trees this season, and in a decade, you will have more food than you know what to do with. Plant number 5, Persimmon. Here is what makes the persimmon truly special. It produces fruit in late autumn and early winter, exactly when everything else has stopped. While your garden is bare and cold, the persimmon tree is hanging heavy, with bright orange fruit often holding its crop, even after the first snow. One tree produces 150 to 300 pounds of fruit per year. And preservation is incredibly simple. Just leave them to dry naturally, they develop a white sugary coating, and become chewy, sweet, and full of energy. They last over a year, without any processing at all. Persimmons are also incredibly pest resistant. Almost nothing bothers them. They take 4 to 6 years to fruit, but once they start, they run on autopilot forever. Plant number 6, Chestnut tree. For centuries across Europe and Asia, the chestnut was called the bread tree. And the reason is simple. Unlike most nuts that are high in fat, chestnuts are packed with complex carbohydrates very similar to potatoes or grain. In mountain communities where wheat couldn't grow, chestnut forests kept entire villages alive through every major famine in history. A mature tree produces 200 to 400 pounds of starchy, filling nuts. You can roast them, boil them, or grind them into a gluten-free flour that stores for months. Important tip for beginners: always look for blight-resistant varieties when you buy. These are widely available at nurseries and online. They take 5 to 7 years to produce, but you are planting something that can live for 300 years. That is not a garden. That is a legacy. Plant number 7, Carob tree. Okay. This is the one I promised at the beginning. And once I tell you about it, you will wonder why nobody talks about this tree. The carob tree produces 200 to 400 pounds of naturally sweet, chocolate-flavored pods every year. In some of the harshest growing conditions on the planet. Extreme heat, rocky soil, almost zero water. While other trees struggle to survive a drought, the carob is quietly producing hundreds of pounds of food. The pods are 50% natural sugar. You can eat them raw, grind them into a cocoa substitute, or store them for 2 to 3 years in a cool, dry place with absolutely zero processing. In ancient times, these pods were used as emergency rations during famines and sieges, specifically because they do not rot. The carob works best in warm climates, zones 9 to 11. It takes 6 to 8 years to establish, but then it runs for over 100 years, with almost no maintenance from you. Practical advice. Before I close, let me give you something real and practical. If you are a complete beginner, here is exactly where to start. Pick just 1 or 2 trees from this list. Don't try to plant all 10 at once. Want fast results? Go with mulberry or fig. Want calorie density? Choose hazelnut or walnut. Cold climate? Apple or chestnut are your best friends. Hot and dry climate? Go with carob or persimmon. Planting for future generations? Oak and pecan are your legacy trees. Next, check your local plant hardiness zone. Just Google your city name, plus hardiness zone. Buy from a local nursery or trusted online source. Dig your hole twice as wide as the root ball. Mix in compost. Water well. Mulch around the base. That is genuinely most of the work. Then, be patient. These trees are working underground, long before they show you anything above ground. Building a food legacy is not about being a farmer or owning acres of land. It is about one simple shift. From being a consumer to being a producer. From depending on systems you cannot control to quietly building something permanent and real in your own backyard. Even one tree. Even one season. That is how it starts. So tell me in the comments, which of these 10 are you planting first? And what climate zone are you in? I read every comment and I will help you figure out the best choice for your specific situation. If this video helped you, please give it a like, it helps this kind of knowledge reach more people. Subscribe for more beginner-friendly guides on food security and self-sufficiency. I will see you in the next one.